This is Rosen Institute's Your Law Firm, where Lee Rosen and Ned Days cover management, marketing, finance, and new technologies for building the practice you deserve. Rosen Institute members received this episode early, as well as exclusive segments on firm holiday party planning, an answer to a member question about removing your phone number from your Google listing, as well as sessions from our systems program all about building processes in your firm. Get access to everything you're missing at roseninstitute.com/join. Here's Lee Rosen.
It's good to be with you today from Pomos, Cyprus, where we're staying in a villa just 25 meters from the breaking waves of the Mediterranean. It's hard to ask for a better view. Each night, the sound of the waves put me to sleep. The ocean breeze cools down the room, and the sun, well, the endless sunshine, it really is something else. We've stayed in a lot of places with great views, but this one, it's tough to beat.
It's time for your tech tip. Google's yearly I/O developer conference just took place a couple of weeks ago. There were lots of developer-focused announcements that will likely end up making for much more interesting apps and tools for us down the road. There were also headline-grabbing upcoming features like multi-camera 3D video conferencing, because the problem with video conferences isn't that 9 out of 10 of them could have been handled with an email, it's that we can't see each other in 3D. But tucked in between the new smart glasses and the ability to see what the latest fast fashion trends look like on your body, there were some interesting and impressive announcements more relevant to our interests. And as you've probably guessed, AI takes center stage in just about everything. OpenAI's ChatGPT gets a lot of the AI headlines, but Google's AI functionality has been remarkably competitive, and their latest updates keep raising the bar. Not just with the Gemini LLM chatbot, but with their image generation capabilities as well. The latest image model handles multiple subjects and text much more effectively and realistically. And if you are subscribed to the new $125 per month AI Ultra plan, you also get access to Google's Veo 3 video generation tool. The demos are quite impressive. You give it a prompt, and it will create clips a few seconds long of realistic videos with matching audio. Google Flow allows you to incorporate those Veo videos, images you upload, or images you generate from a prompt into consistent video clips. So generating professional-looking social media reels with just a prompt is now a reality for everybody. Google's first step toward AI agents, that is, assistants that will take your query and perform actions on your behalf rather than just giving you a list of the steps, was also on display. This is coming to the Gemini app and the new AI mode in Google search. AI mode is rolling out to accounts right now when you perform a Google search, and it is more along the lines of a Perplexity or ChatGPT web search than a traditional Google search. And you can now turn your camera on and have discussions or interactions with the search based on what you are pointing your camera at. The agent functionality will start with event tickets, restaurant reservations, and local appointments. Companies like Ticketmaster, StubHub, Resy, and Vagaro are on board right now, with more to come. So you ask Google to make a dinner reservation or find you 2 tickets for a concert, and it will do all of the legwork of finding you the options, presenting them to you, and allowing you to book without any extra website visits. Google has made an API for this functionality available, allowing developers to open up their apps and services to be automated in Google's AI search and allowing developers to add agent functionality into their apps. But my guess is that, at least to start, they are going to be pretty restrictive about what apps and services they actually allow to take advantage of this. Now, something that will be a game changer for a lot of practices is real-time translation in Google Meet. This is available now on paid Google plans, although for the time being, English and Spanish are the only supported languages. More languages are promised later this year. And the big selling point isn't just the real-time nature, but it's the ability to match the cadence and tone in your speech when it's doing the translating. We will see how this goes in day-to-day use, but we are pretty quickly approaching a day when translation headaches will be a thing of the past. Google also announced that they are starting to roll out the SynthID detector portal to a group of early testers. This is a tool for identifying AI-generated content. This one isn't widely available yet. Journalists, media professionals, and researchers can join the waitlist to get access. They've also opened up functionality allowing developers to watermark AI-generated content. Now, something that was announced just ahead of the I/O conference and is pretty far under the radar for a lot of people were a few updates to the generative AI capabilities in Google Pinpoint. I have talked about Pinpoint before. This is a tool that was designed for journalistic and academic research, but is surprisingly useful for legal research too. Pinpoint allows you to search through hundreds of thousands of documents for specific keywords, locations, people, and organizations, and then tag and organize all those documents as you see fit. You create collections of up to 200,000 documents from either files uploaded from your device or files you already have in Google Drive. It handles all of the file types you would expect. It runs OCR on things like scans and handwritten notes. It transcribes audio recordings up to 2 hours in length, and it will recognize objects and places in photos, so using keywords you can pull up hits from images that contain things you are searching for. It's even smart enough to produce hits for things like keywords, phrases, and concepts in other languages through its translation functionality. Now, previously Pinpoint lacked advanced AI features, but that is changing. You can now ask for AI summaries of subsets of documents. There's a comparison feature to get general or specific comparisons between up to 3 different documents. There's a data extraction tool to retrieve specific values from up to 100 documents into a structured spreadsheet, including attribution links to the source text, and a label functionality to automatically classify up to 100 documents using the criteria you choose. Notebook LM is still going to be a better tool for synthesizing insights by using prompts on a small group of documents, but Pinpoint's ability to handle thousands and thousands makes it much more useful for big projects, and these new AI enhancements, especially the data extraction capabilities, are pretty exciting. I'm Ned Days, and that's your tech tip.
And now for your moment of concise advice. Most people, we think that change happens when you announce it. That's why their teams quietly implode 6 months later. The truth is that change, it starts when you announce it, and then it takes a long time. I think it often takes up to 2 full years to finish. 2 years before it becomes the new normal. 2 years before people would freak out if you tried to change it back to where you started. 2 years before they stop mourning the old way and start defending the new way. I'll tell you, when we moved our law firm remote in 2012, I thought the hard part was the rollout of the change. New software, new standard operating procedures, new policies, but the real fallout showed up in weird, unexpected places. Meetings got quiet. One paralegal told me that she cried every morning before logging into our system online. A lawyer told me, I don't feel like a lawyer anymore. And that's when I realized that, yes, I had launched a change, but I had failed to lead the transition. If you don't manage the full 2-year arc of change, you'll see it in the shadows of your law firm. Silence, delay, resistance, passive compliance. Then someone quits, then another quits, and you're shocked and you're surprised, but you shouldn't be. So what does managing that arc look like? What does managing the change look like? Well, you start by honoring what it is that is ending. Even good change creates loss of status, of structure, of routine, of control. And if you don't acknowledge it, people will hang on to what's gone, even if it no longer serves them. You don't have to throw a funeral, but you have to say, that part of how we work, that's over. Next, you paint the new identity. People don't move, they don't shift, they don't change for policies. They move for a sense of belonging. When we shifted our law firm from a heavy emphasis on paralegals to associates, we forgot to do that. The structure changed, but the culture, it sagged. People didn't know who they were in the new model. You've got to manage the change. Don't just tell them what it is that we're doing. Tell them who it is that they are becoming. Tell them who it is that they are now that the change has happened. Say something like, We're the kind of law firm that moves fast, that trusts people, that builds systems instead of burying problems in process. Define your law firm, explain that definition, that new identity to your people, get them ready, and then prepare them for the wilderness. William Bridges, he called this the neutral zone. It's that disorienting in between. The old way is gone. The new way, it isn't second nature yet. Productivity dips. People get anxious. Some consider bailing on the law firm. And this is where most leaders disappear. It's where most leaders vanish. They move on to the next thing while the team is still stuck there in the neutral zone, in the middle, not quite sure where they are and where they're going. Don't do that. Shorten your cycles, weekly check-ins, daily stand-ups. Ask more questions than you answer. I met one-on-one with every person after that shift to remote work, not to push, but just to listen, to hear what it is that they had to say, to help them get comfortable in that neutral zone as they move forward. That's how you hold the rope while people cross the canyon. And then finally, stay with it. Most leaders stop leading the change way too early. They assume that silence means success. But silence, it can be the sound of disengagement, of checking out, of packing up, of getting ready to go. So keep communicating, keep reinforcing, keep reminding people who it is that we are now. Don't mistake compliance for conversion. I have seen the real damage of change show up in strange emails, in missed deadlines, in the high performer who suddenly just fades. And I have learned that change, it doesn't blow things up on day one. No, it slowly erodes what you didn't stick around to protect, to defend, to maintain. So if you are leading change, don't just focus on the kickoff. Don't just send that memo and walk away. No, look down the road, 2 years down the road, and stay visible and stay human and stay with it. That's how change becomes culture. And that's your moment of concise advice. Wrapping up from Pomos, thanks for spending a few minutes with me and Ned today. We hope you have a great weekend and an even better week next week. Keep plugging away, moving forward, and getting things done. You're on the right track. You'll get there, I promise. We're all in this together, and together we build better practices through better marketing, better management, and better technology. Until next time, I'm Lee Rosen.
Thanks for listening to Your Law Firm. Subscribe to the Friday File at roseninstitute.com and join thousands of lawyers focused on working on, instead of in their practices. You'll find safe, successful, actionable approaches for transforming your firm. Sign up for free at roseninstitute.com.